Okay, let's be honest. You see an annual report, and it just looks like 100 pages of corporate gobbledygook and tables that never end, right? But what if I told you it's actually a treasure map? It's a storybook, and if you know how to read it, it tells you everything about a company, where it's been, where it is, and where it's probably going. So the real question is, what kinds of secrets are we talking about? We mean huge business risks, little hidden red flags, the kind of stuff that's all just sitting there, hiding in plain sight between the lines. Today, we're going to put on our detective hats and learn exactly where to look for those clues. Every good investigation needs a case file, right? Well, for us, it's the 2024-2025 annual report for a company called NDR Auto Components. We're going to use their report to walk through a method that you can literally use for any company you're curious about. All right, so just like a detective who first arrives at the scene, our investigation starts with the basics. We're checking the company's vital signs, its overall health, and the world it's living in. You could call this our background check. The first place you're going to want to look is the management discussion section. It's gold. Here, NDR's report points out that the Indian economy is set to be the fastest growing major economy in the world. So what does that tell us? It tells us our company is playing in a market that has some serious wind at its back. A really positive start to our case. Next, we check the vitals themselves, the key financial ratios. Think of these like a quick trip to the doctor for a financial checkup. And hey, look at this. The operating profit margin is up over 14%. That's a strong sign that the company is getting better at making money from its main business. Ratios like these give us a fantastic snapshot of financial health before we dive any deeper. Okay, so the background check is done. Now it's time for the most important part of any investigation. And the most fun, if you ask me, following the money. Where is it coming from and where on earth is it going? Now, some parts of the money trail are super easy to find. The report says it right there. The board recommends a dividend of 2.75 rupees for every single share. This is just a straight-up payout of profits to the people who own the company, the shareholders. Simple enough. But then you find a number like this, 91.19%. It's a huge, really specific number that just makes you stop and ask, 91.19% of what exactly? This is the kind of clue that a good detective simply cannot ignore. Well, the answer is hiding in something called related party transactions. Basically, as you can see, these are deals done between a company and another group that has close ties. Think sister companies, major investors, that sort of thing. And it turns out that 91.19%, that's the slice of NDR's entire annual business that comes from deals with just one of its associate companies, Bharat Seats Limited. And the scale here is just wow. That one single relationship is worth up to 650 crores a year. Now, the company says these deals are all done fair and square, but it still shows a massive, massive dependency. If anything happened to that one business relationship, it could put over 90% of their business at risk. For a corporate detective, that is a critical finding. Knowing the money is key for sure, but we also need to know who's in charge. Who are the people actually making the big decisions? And are there any systems in place to make sure they're doing a good job? This is all about what we call corporate governance. The report goes into detail about a bunch of committees, but a really important one is the audit committee. You can think of them as the internal watchdog. Their job is to keep an eye on the financial reporting, sign off on payments to auditors, generally make sure everything is on the up and up. This is the whole system of checks and balances that's meant to protect everyone involved. So we've checked the vitals, we've followed the money, now it's time to look for the really hidden clues, the things that don't get announced in flashy headlines. And you know the best place to find them? It's almost always buried deep in the fine print of the auditor's report. When you're scanning the independent auditor's report, this is the magic phrase you need to hunt for: emphasis of matter. It's basically the auditor's way of putting up a giant waving red flag. They're saying, listen, my official opinion on the financials is clean, but you absolutely need to know about this one specific thing. So what was this matter they were so worried about? Well, the auditors point directly to a note about a search carried out on the company by the Income Tax Department. This is not a routine check-in, folks. It's a pretty significant event, and the auditors clearly thought so too. And here it is, the punchline. As a result of that search, the company got slapped with tax demand orders for over 500 lakh rupees. Now, the company says it's appealing this, but that is a huge potential liability, a major red flag that we uncovered just by knowing to read the fine print. So, what's the big takeaway from all this? You don't need to be a Wall Street analyst to do this. By following a pretty clear process, you can turn a document that looks incredibly dense into a story that makes sense. It's like you've unlocked a new financial superpower. So here it is, your 4-step method. Number 1, get the context, scan the management discussion. 2, follow the big money flows to see where the cash is really coming from and going. 3, scrutinize those related party deals for any hidden dependencies. And 4, the golden rule. Always read the auditor's report for those buried red flags. Now you've got the tools. Whether it's a company you've invested in, the place you work, or just one you're curious about, the real story is sitting there, just waiting for you. So the only question left is, what secrets are you going to uncover?